Hey, yo, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking it out. You know, I just left my Toyota dealership, and I got to tell you, owning a Toyota Tacoma, it's more expensive than I thought it would be. And I'm going to tell you in what ways it's more expensive right now. Let's get into it. Let's go. So I'm heading home from the local Toyota dealership. It's actually where I bought my truck, doing the Toyota Care 15,000 mile, which is just a tire rotation. I got it in there and they were like, you need to register your truck. You're overdue. So there went a few $100 right there on registration, which obviously any car, you're gonna have to do your state registration, but it is a 2021, it is newer, it's a truck, it's a bigger, heavier vehicle. All those things add up and basically means it actually costs a little bit more to register than a lot of the other cars that we own. My wife's car, some of my kids' cars, etc. So right there, it's a little bit more. That's okay. That one I got. The next thing though that actually really frustrated me, the last few weeks, one of my tires, the pressure's been a little low. I inspected it, couldn't find anything, just visually looking over the tire. Went ahead, filled it up with air, and again, it's been a very slow leak, nothing major. Now I am running the stock Goodyear Kevlar tires that are supposed to be, you know, an all-season, all-weather tire, but also strong enough for a little bit of off-roading. And honestly, I haven't even been off-roading any time in the last little bit, but I'd fill it up a week, maybe a week and a half would go by, and it would start to go back down in that tire pressure, fill it back up. So I've done that for a few weeks, and you know, I scheduled this appointment to get the 15,000 mile Toyota Care service done several weeks ago. The dealership is understaffed like a lot of places, so it took a little bit of time to get it up there, but went in, took it in, had them look at that tire. Sure enough, they're saying it's non-repairable, not under warranty, it's a nail, it's in the sidewall, just kind of a double whammy. It is frustrating though. I've got a truck that's under Toyota Care warranty. I bought it from them. I have OEM tires, essentially stock tires on there, and still had to come out of pocket and buy a new tire for the Tacoma. Not happy about that. Now, I did look up the tire in a couple other places that are around the area and found a little bit better price. So I was able to get them to actually beat, not even match, they were able to beat the other prices by about $20. So I did save the money by being able to do it with them. Also was able to get my registration done with them without any fees other than the state fees that I had to pay. So at least I was able to get it all done in this one visit. But again, both those things, a little bit more money than I was expecting to spend today under something that's all supposed to be covered under the Toyota Care. Next thing is just the price of the vehicle. You know, when I was on site or on this at this dealership for the first time, and I would say maybe 6 or 7 months, they actually had some Tacomas on the lot. The majority are used Tacomas, trade-ins from people that have put money down and gotten a new one in. So there were a few on there, but you look at it and, you know, prices have gone up in the last year, and I'm glad I got mine when I did in May of last year. I did pay slightly under MSRP, but if I had bought it in any of the previous years, I would have been able to actually spend thousands of dollars less than I paid on this one. So, you know, you've got that monthly loan payment. That's kind of the world that most people live in. Luckily, I got a pretty good interest rates, but if you're buying now, prices are up and interest rates are up a little bit. Just something for you to keep in mind. It may cost you a little bit more than you had expected, just based on how much the vehicles are going for. They're not doing a ton of negotiation, and interest rates, if you're financing it, are a little bit higher. Like, that's something that I'd feel that pinch. So the next thing on the list of why the Tacoma is maybe more expensive than I had thought about has to do with gas mileage. I looked at that 18 to 22, figured I don't drive all that fast, maybe I'll get 18, or maybe looked at that and said, I don't drive all that fast, thought maybe I'll get 20 to 22, but most of my driving is around town. Most of my driving is quick trips. I work from home, so I'm not driving into an office. I don't drive on the freeway very often. In fact, the furthest place I've driven in a long time is probably this dealership to go get this work done that I just got done on it. So based on that, you know, I'm averaging 18. I'm right there at 18, not 19, not 20, nothing above that. So, you know, gas mileage, it doesn't get quite as good a gas mileage as I thought. Now, again, I'm still running stock tires. I've got a 2-inch leveling kit on the front of it, but not done any kind of a lift. I know those things will drive your gas mileage down, and you just got to bank on that. If that's what you're doing, you just got to plan on that you're going to do those things to enjoy your truck, but it may not get the same level of mileage. I didn't do anything that really messed with the mileage all that much, so I don't feel like that's really been an issue. It's just the kind of driving I do around town, that's what I'm going to get out of it. But you throw into the fact that gas prices have gone up, you know, went above $5 for a while. Now they have come back down. That's been nice. But still, when I was looking at getting mine early last year, gas was pretty inexpensive. And so now it's gotten quite a bit more. That's just one thing that has increased my cost of ownership of owning a truck. The next thing is insurance. Insurance, going from having a 4-door sedan, I had a Nissan Maxima a year ago, to a Toyota Tacoma. It's a few years newer. It is bigger. It's a heavier vehicle. It's a truck. All of those things added up to being a more expensive insurance than what I was paying before. So again, insurance is one more thing that I ended up having to spend extra on because I own a Tacoma, or in this case, you know, any truck is going to be costing you more, at least for me when I did my research, than a car would on the insurance side. Next on my list is maintenance. Now, I do have the Toyota Care program, so oil changes, tire rotations, those are included for the first 2 years or 24,000 miles. However, like I mentioned, I went in and sure enough, there was a nail in the tire in a spot that it wasn't going to be covered under the warranty or under the Toyota Care program. Therefore, I had to buy myself a new tire right there, several $100s right out of the gate that I wasn't expecting. But there's other maintenance things as well. I've got a black truck, so keeping it clean, keeping it washed, you know, buying chemicals or products that are going to make it look nice. You know, those things to me are a little bit of an investment in the truck to be able to take care of it, you know, whether it's interior or exterior. So those things definitely do add up though. And that might not be something you necessarily think about, but when you buy something new, you definitely want to make sure that you keep it nice and that you're protecting this investment. And what that means is there's some smaller maintenance things you got to do, and those add up. Those actually do cost you money more than you might think. And before I hit the last thing on my list of why the Tacoma is more expensive than I was thinking it would be, go ahead and hit like and hit subscribe. We'd love to have you subscribe to the channel. All right, enough of that. Last on my list of why the Tacoma is more expensive than I thought it would be has to do with mods. And look, I get it. You don't need to do any mods. I've made videos about this. I've talked about it before. The Tacoma is more than capable right off the lot, that it can do everything that most people need it to do. However, in order for me to maximize my enjoyment of the Tacoma, I've definitely done mods to the truck. And maybe I need to do a mod review. Let me know in the comments below if you're interested in seeing all the mods that I've done, both exterior and interior. As I've started walking around and looking at my Tacoma, it's probably more than I realized that I've done, which means I've spent more money than I realized. But there's some things like the bed mat that really I think are like necessary mods for me to be able to utilize the bed of the truck. You know, that's $100 plus right there, but it's a good investment. It's worth doing. But nonetheless, you may find yourself spending more on mods than you thought you would. You maybe thought, hey, I'm going to like the truck as is, and you do, but you start seeing mods that either add functionality or just make it look good. And sometimes you just like that look, and you're like, man, I want that look on my Tacoma. Boom, before you know it, you're spending money on mods on the Tacoma. So those are several ways where I think cost of owning the Tacoma was more expensive than I had anticipated. Having said that, I love my truck. I think it's worth the investment. I like having it for all the functionality and all the things that I use it for. Plus, I like how it looks. So in the end, is it worth the investment? Yeah, it is. I think it is. Otherwise, I wouldn't buy it. In fact, if you don't think it's worth the investment, sell it right now while you can still get the top price for it. But you got to be prepared to buy something else that you can find in stock. All right, that's enough for this video. Again, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.